Okay, one of my jobs here at the farm is to keep all the beautiful flowers alive for the summer. There's quite a few of them. It takes me probably a good hour in the morning to really get all of this done. And then we have some really beautiful ones in front of this barn, and then over here we have some, and on this side I'll show you those. This one looks pretty good. I picked a lot of the flowers off yesterday. It had rained yesterday morning and on Saturday, so they got quite a bit of water then, and I have to admit that I do enjoy that when it happens, because I get a break from doing this. But she looks pretty good. I had this one hanging off of the rail here, and it was so pretty, but we need to do some work on the deck, and it kind of tends to lean a little bit more than I really trust it to not fall off of the deck. Tundra's sitting here really doing his job of catching mice and rats and things. He's working hard. Appreciate it, buddy. I do all my watering first thing in the morning because they need to be watered in the morning. I know a lot of people, it's water at night. It's easier. Yeah, it's easier, but the problem is that then your plants have to try to get through the whole day with no water. So you have to water them first thing in the morning so they have the most water, and then they can get through the day and the heat with that water, and then through into the next morning. And it's really worked well. I learned that. I have to tell you, it's something I learned off of YouTube. And then I have a specific fertilizing that I do for them on Tuesday. They get a different fertilizer on Thursday, and then they get certain fertilizer once a month and every couple weeks. So there's a whole regimen. I will show you that, and I will go show you what my husband put together for me that also makes my watering much easier. And this is one of the things that we have found around our barn that has helped tremendously. So this right here has been a game changer for me. I got this 35-gallon water bucket from a friend of mine, had given it to me, and then my husband bought this off of Amazon and put this together. It hooks up here to something in the side by side. I cannot tell you what that is. I turn it on here, and then I have my water from there. So it makes it a much faster process. Be able to just go around and water. Some of them I will fill up the water bucket still, because when I do the fertilizing, obviously I'm not going to put it in there, so I put it in the little can, and I will go around and water from the can to make sure that I'm getting that in all my plants for those days that I do that. So one of the other things that I do when I water is, especially my hanging plants, is because this is when I can do it, is I kind of lift and feel, and there's just there's a weight that I like it to feel, so I know that they're getting enough water for the day. It's really important. Some people will just want to like soak it through so it's running out the bottom, but you don't want it to run out the bottom. You really want it to soak in there and to really be in there so that it's got enough water to get them through the day. One of the other fun parts about having these is that now we get to go through and pick all of the dead ones off. I think this takes as much time as it does to do the water. And again, I just will feel, and that's still a little light. I will add some more water and then I shake it. So that way the water's not coming out the bottom, it's staying in there. We have these, I'm not sure what they're called, bottoms that are look like grass, but it holds the water pretty good as well. So that's coming out, so I'll shake it, but that should be good for the day. And again, they're looking pretty good, but there's just those ones. You have to make sure that you're pulling that, not just pulling the the flower off, but pulling it from its little bud part at the bottom. That really helps make them grow, extend. That's what's going to extend your flowers, your hanging baskets down. You're probably wondering why I have this one here. It is really tall and I do have a step stool, but I've thought about moving it somewhere else that's a little easier for me to reach, or get one of those drop down hangers. But it's one of those things that once I get into it and I'm doing it, I'm just like, by the time I go and grab a step or something, I'm almost done with it, or I don't ever think about it till I'm doing it again and then go, oh yeah, I should probably do that. And then I forget about it. So that's that mature brain that can't remember anything. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and people who do plants and have a green thumb, I can see why it's a little therapeutic to do that. And I do enjoy it, and I enjoy watching them bloom and grow and see from where they started and where they end up. But I will say, by the time September comes around, I'm over it. I'm ready to put them away. That were put together for in front of our barn. And then we have these window baskets that were put together. So beautiful. And when I say put together, that was not by me. My job, as I said, is to keep them alive for the summer. We have huge shout out to From the Ground Up here in Maine, who puts these together for us. She also does our Christmas wreaths. Polly and Al do a fantastic work for us. And I cannot tell you what is in any of these. I just know that's a hanging basket. I know that those are window boxes. So I told you my job is to keep them alive, and that's what I do. And I had to look that up even to know what I have to do that. So as we go through and water flowers, and if you know what they are, you can comment below and see how many you can reference and let me know what they are. This has been a really big game changer for us at the farm, having the flowers in the summertime. It just really upgrades the look of the barn and the whole area, and everybody just loves it. The staff, the boarders, it just changes the whole aesthetics of the barn. So I highly recommend, if you can have flowers during the summer, really upgrades your facility. But you definitely have to budget. It's not cheap, and of course with everything else it's getting more expensive. And it's probably more expensive for me because I have to hire out somebody to do this, and they just bring me my baskets. And I do have save my baskets every year, and then they redo them and bring them back. But because I don't have a green thumb, and it's interesting, my grandfather I probably should have paid more attention when I was growing up and he was trying to teach me things, but that was not my thing. And pretty much my aunt, who can grow anything, got that gene for sure. They should be good for the day. Get through. We're going to have some hot weather here over the next week. So this flower here, again, I don't know what it's called, but it's a different one than we've had in the past. And it's a little bit hard for me because I can never tell which flowers I need to pick off, because they pretty much all look a little bit like they have to be picked off. If you know the name of this, let me know. But it's very fun when I have to try to explain to my plant lady what flowers worked, what didn't, because I guess I'm going to have to start taking pictures of all of them so I can explain it to her a little better. But it's a beautiful flower, but it just is one of those, it's different. The way that it holds itself is just different than the other ones. And then, as typical with farm life, what happens, I was so excited, I'm going to head down to the front of the driveway and start to water. So I was talking to you about how wonderful this is, and then I go to turn it on, there's nothing. It should be pumping and it's broken. Typical farm life. This one's growing so fast already that some of the flowers are down to the ground already. So, and it's so full, which is interesting because it has the smallest pot. It's in a regular plastic pot. Sure, I was recording earlier, so I'm going to repeat this, that if you adding flowers to your facility has been a really big highlight for us. It just changes the whole aesthetics of the barn and just brings it to life in the summertime. And staff, boarders, guests, people who stop by, visit, just really love it. Becomes a focal point during the summer. And now that we do this every year, we have, especially down front where we have the rock pillars that we fill with flowers, and then in the winter we have a different setup down there, and people now drive by and look forward to seeing what's down in the rock pillars every season. So that has been really fun to keep up with, and to know that people are enjoying it so much. And I mean, I think that's the purpose of flowers, isn't it? Is to bring joy for people. Just is so beautiful, and the way that they start off so tiny and then they look like this. who does these for us from the ground up. She was familiar with our property and from years past, so she knows exactly what we need for flowers that are going to do really well in the sun, a couple places that maybe we have in the shade. And then she also knows me, and that she has to give me flowers that are the least amount of work.